Well, I think one of the things we're seeing is the tightening of the polls, especially on the four-way. The Fox poll showed Hillary last week with a 6-point lead, but only a 2-point lead, same as we do on the four-way ballot. What's not changing is the favorable, unfavorable ratings of either of these two candidates. We had Hillary at 55%, Trump was at 58%. So the closing is coming in large part from two things. One is that Hillary bleeds more to the other third-party candidates when you go to the four-way ballot. The other is that Trump in recent weeks has gotten back up to an equal support level from Republican voters to where Hillary is with Democratic voters, and that has closed the race.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly has had a better 2 weeks, Dagan, relative to what we saw right after the convention.
And right. Go ahead, Ed. And she's been in hiding, essentially, doing nothing but fundraising during the month of August.
Well, I think I wouldn't put too much credit on that. I think it's a combination of fundraising and planning for the debates, which are going to be very important. I think what we saw from Trump in the last 2 weeks is less of the rallies, less of the kind of brash, aggressive Donald Trump, which gives an opportunity for those Republicans to kind of fall in line. One of the things I've been saying for some time is that him leading with his personality, he doesn't need to do that anymore. He's the nominee. Leading with his personality stirs up those negatives. It's like a boxer with a glass jaw leading with his chin. He needs to talk about issues, which he's doing, and the more he talks about issues and connects that with the Republican position on issues, which is stronger than he is on the economy, on jobs, and even foreign affairs, the better he's going to do in the polling.
Let me get to the next poll we want to look at, because heading into the election, your poll also shows the top issues for voters. Walk us through that and what's changed.
Well, you are seeing a little bit less of an emphasis on terrorism than what we saw early in the summer and kind of midsummer. More of an emphasis on the economy, on jobs, on taxes. So again, I think the more he has an opportunity, and one of the things we saw in this survey is that Republicans versus Democrats score higher on those measurements than he does versus Clinton. So I think kind of falling in and falling back on those positions that Republicans have been fighting, quite frankly, for quite some time, the better he'll solidify that Republican vote and be in a position to win in November.
Yeah, we keep seeing, Louise, people feel that Donald Trump is better equipped to create jobs.
I guess so.
Based on polls.
I'm interested at that number for the economy. It's actually quite low, 21%, and I think that's because the economy is doing okay. But what we're just hearing from the pollster here is the more Donald Trump acts like the despised establishment that he's been running against for so long, the better he does in the polls. Less Trump, more GOP. Hillary Clinton was absent for most of August, but she's been absent for the whole campaign because she's allowed Trump to run against himself. If he can just get out of his own way and act like a real Republican, then he has a chance to win.
Go ahead, Ed.
And really what I'm saying is if you look at the survey and you look at Republicans versus Democrats on those issues, it's coming out on the policies rather than leading with his personality, because those policies, whether he wants to call it anti-establishment, we've been fighting those battles for the last decade or the last 8 years, and that's where the Republicans will gravitate to, who perhaps are negative about his, or unfavorable about his personality, but can be very positive about his positioning on the issues. So it's not all of a sudden becoming the establishment, it's setting that establishment argument aside and focusing on the issues, which is what we're seeing him do a little bit more. We saw him do it on immigration. We can see him do it on taxes, on the economy, and on jobs, where, quite frankly, the Republican Party has a stronger standing with a broader electorate.